Hey everyone, welcome back to Investing Talk podcast.
Good to be back.
So lately, everyone's been buzzing about DTE Energy,
Oh, yeah, definitely they've been.
especially with their stock practically flirting with its 52-week high.
Yeah, it's certainly caught my eye.
Yeah.
What's interesting is how this surge seems tied to investors getting nervous about a potential recession.
Oh, yeah.
They're flocking to what they see as safer stocks,
Right.
and DTE is benefiting from that.
It's like they're thinking, okay, things might get rough. Let me park some money in DTE, collect those dividends.
Exactly.
Because let's face it, 7% jump in the last month alone is nothing to sneeze at,
No, it's not.
even if it's still trailing the overall market.
Yeah.
But that's where the big question comes in, right?
Yeah.
Is DTE Energy truly a safe haven? Or is there something lurking beneath the surface that investors should be worried about?
Right. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And to answer it, we need to dig into both the good and the bad.
Yeah.
On the bright side, their third quarter was stellar.
Oh, really?
Adjusted earnings per share came in at $2.22,
Wow.
a 54.2% increase year over year.
Okay.
That's not just meeting expectations,
Mhm.
that's blowing them out of the water.
Okay, so they're making money, which is a good sign for any company,
Yeah,
especially in a potentially shaky economy.
right.
But what about their future prospects?
Yeah.
Are they just riding a temporary wave, or is this sustainable growth?
Well, they're projecting an annual EPS of $6.54 to $6.83. Now, projections can be tricky, but it does show they're confident about navigating the current market conditions.
Okay.
And for you as an investor, that consistency is gold.
Absolutely. And let's
Yeah.
not forget about those dividends.
Oh, yeah, right.
54 years of consistent payments with a current yield of 3.14%.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty tempting for someone looking for a stable income stream,
For sure.
especially if the market takes a downturn.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
definitely a strong point in their favor. It shows commitment to shareholders and a history of weathering storms.
For sure.
But even with that track record, we can't ignore the elephant in the room:
What's that?
regulatory challenges.
Oh, yeah, right.
They play a huge role in DTE's future,
Uh-huh.
and things aren't as simple as they might seem.
You know, here's what I don't get.
Okay.
They just got a $368 million rate increase approved
Uh-huh.
by the Michigan Public Service Commission.
Right.
That should be good news, right?
Ah.
More money for infrastructure, clean energy initiatives, all that jazz.
Yeah, you would think.
But something tells me it's not that straightforward.
You're right to be skeptical.
Okay.
While that rate increase does give them some breathing room,
Uh-huh.
the MPSC is walking a tightrope.
Okay.
They actually lowered DTE's original request.
Oh, wow.
What's fascinating here is that it signals a shift, a more cautious approach to approving these rate hikes.
So it's like they're saying, okay, we'll give you this one, but don't get too comfortable.
Exactly.
What does that mean for future requests?
Yeah.
Could DTE be left scrambling for funds down the line?
It's a valid concern. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
An administrative law judge recommended a revenue requirement of just $97.95 million for DTE.
Okay.
Now compare that to what they initially asked for, $262.4 million.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a massive discrepancy.
Wow. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's like they're playing hardball.
Yeah.
So even with the recent increase, this regulatory tug-of-war could really impact DTE's ability to make those investments they're promising.
Exactly. And that leads us to another critical question.
Okay.
What does this mean for DTE's financial health overall?
Right.
Can they handle this push and pull from regulators and still keep investors happy?
Okay, so we've got a company with strong performance, a juicy dividend history, and ambitious plans for the future.
Right.
But on the flip side, we've got these regulatory challenges that could throw a wrench in everything.
You got it.
I'm already getting a little anxious for DTE.
Yeah.
And honestly, for anyone holding their stock,
Well, that's where things get interesting. We need to dig deeper into their financials, their debt load, and how they're managing it all. Because if the regulators tighten the screws too much,
right.
it could put a serious strain on their ability to operate and grow.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of their financials then.
Okay.
I have a feeling this is where things might get really interesting for better or worse.
We'll see.
Stay tuned, folks, because we're just getting started.
Absolutely. So picking up where we left off, let's talk about DTE's debt.
Okay.
They're sitting on roughly $24.8 billion of it.
Wow. Okay.
That number might sound scary,
It does a little.
but for a utility company their size, it's not out of the ordinary.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They've got to build power plants, transmission lines. That stuff doesn't come cheap.
Right, exactly.
But for someone like me who's not a finance whiz,
Sure.
what should I be looking at to gauge if they're managing that debt responsibly?
Good question. Think of it like checking the engine before buying a used car. You want to make sure DTE can handle its debts, even if things get rough.
Okay.
Like if interest rates keep climbing
Uh-huh.
or those regulatory decisions go against them,
Right.
key things to watch are their debt maturity profile
Okay.
when those loans are due,
Got it.
their debt service coverage ratio,
Okay.
basically can they comfortably make their payments,
Uh-huh.
and the interest rates they're getting on new debt.
So it's not just the total amount, but how well they're juggling it all.
Right, exactly.
Have they been doing anything smart to manage that debt?
Actually, yeah.
Huh.
They've been refinancing older debt to snag lower interest rates,
Okay.
which is a smart move.
Yeah, for sure.
They're also stretching out the repayment timelines to ease the pressure
Okay.
and diversifying where they're getting their money from
Right.
to spread the risk.
Okay, so they're not just sitting there with a mountain of debt and hoping for the best.
No, they're not.
But those rising interest rates you mentioned,
Yeah.
that's got to be a concern, right?
It is.
Couldn't that make things spiral out of control?
It could. Higher borrowing costs can eat into profits.
Right.
And if their earnings growth slows down
Wow.
or regulators crimp their revenue,
Yeah?
their ability to keep up with those debt payments could be compromised.
Right.
It's a tightrope walk.
It sounds like a lot hinges on DTE's ability to walk that tightrope.
For sure.
If they stumble, investors might get spooked, and that could send the stock price tumbling.
Exactly. And this is where their commitment to environmental, social, and governance, or ESG principles, comes into play.
ESG. Okay.
It's a big deal for investors these days,
Yeah.
especially with utilities because of their environmental impact.
Yeah, you'd think with all this talk about clean energy,
Yeah.
ESG would be front and center for DTE.
Right.
What have they been doing in that area?
They've been busy.
Okay.
DTE is setting big goals to slash carbon emissions.
Okay.
They're pouring money into renewables like wind and solar,
Uh-huh.
and they're working on making the grid more resilient,
Okay.
which is good for everyone. Plus, they're engaging with folks on environmental issues and promoting diversity within the company.
It's like they're trying to check all the ESG boxes.
Yeah, they are.
But is it all talk, or are they actually walking the walk?
Well, they're getting recognition from the investment community.
Yeah.
They're part of several sustainability indices and have gotten good ratings from ESG agencies.
Okay.
It's not just greenwashing.
Mhm.
They're genuinely trying to make a positive impact.
But they're not getting a free pass, right?
Oh, no, of course not.
Aren't some environmental groups giving them flack?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Some argue their shift to renewables isn't happening fast enough,
Uh-huh.
that they're still too cozy with fossil fuels.
Right.
There are also concerns about coal ash disposal
Okay.
and the impact of their operations on local communities.
So it's not all sunshine and rainbows?
No,
DTE has some work to do to really win over the skeptics.
for sure.
But how does this all tie back to their financials and stock price?
Yeah.
Does ESG really move the needle for investors?
It does. And here's why
Right.
strong ESG performance can actually boost a company's bottom line.
Okay. Yeah.
By investing in energy efficiency,
Mm-hmm.
reducing waste,
Okay.
and tackling environmental issues head-on, companies can save money and improve their profits.
So doing good can also be good for business.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
And investors are catching on
Okay.
as more people want their investments to align with their values.
Right.
Companies with good ESG ratings are becoming more attractive.
Ah.
It's like a badge of honor that can draw in more investors
Okay.
and potentially push the stock price higher.
So for DTE, their ESG efforts could be a key part of their financial success. It's
Yeah.
like they're building a bridge between doing right by the planet and keeping investors happy.
You got it. But it's not guaranteed.
Okay.
Investors need to stay informed and look beyond the hype.
Right.
Check out independent research, see how DTE stacks up against its peers, and make sure their actions are matching their words.
Right, because a fancy ESG rating doesn't mean much if the company isn't delivering on its promises.
Exactly. It's about finding companies that are truly committed to sustainability for the long haul,
Right.
not just jumping on the ESG bandwagon for a quick PR boost.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
DTE's debt ESG efforts and how those factor into their financial health and investor appeal.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to talk about.
Okay.
Competition.
You're right.
Hmm.
Even with all these internal challenges, DTE isn't operating in a vacuum.
Right.
Its energy landscape is evolving rapidly,
Yeah.
and they've got to keep up with the pace.
Let's dive into that competitive landscape next.
Yeah.
There's probably a whole other can of worms.
Oh, for sure.
So competition, it's like the Wild West out there in the energy industry.
Oh, yeah.
You got your traditional utility companies battling it out, but then you've got this whole wave of renewable energy providers popping up left and right. And to top it off, even tech giants are trying to get a piece of the energy pie. It's enough to make your head spin.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic landscape.
So for DTE, the challenge is staying ahead of the curve.
Right.
They can't just sit back and rely on their existing infrastructure and customer base.
Yep.
They've got to adapt or risk getting left behind.
Exactly.
So how are they adapting? What's their game plan for competing in this energy free-for-all?
Well, they're tackling it on several fronts.
Okay.
First, they're investing heavily in modernizing the grid.
Okay.
Think smart grid technologies, better energy management systems, basically making the whole system more efficient and reliable.
It's like upgrading from a clunky old flip phone to a sleek smartphone.
Exactly.
It's not just about having the power, it's about using it smarter.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And second, they're going all in on renewables.
Okay.
They're developing wind farms, solar projects, and even energy storage solutions to meet the growing demand for clean energy.
So they're trying to become a one-stop shop for all things energy. Want traditional power? They've got you covered. Want clean, green energy? They've got that too. It's a smart strategy, but it's also a risky one.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's a balancing act.
Okay.
They need to make sure they're not spreading themselves too thin or investing in technologies that might become obsolete.
And let's not forget the cost factor.
Right.
Renewable energy is getting cheaper all the time. How can DTE maintain its profitability if they're competing with companies that can offer lower prices?
That's the key question for any utility company right now.
Yeah.
DTE needs to find ways to optimize its operations,
Uh-huh.
cut costs where possible,
Okay.
and offer something unique that sets them apart.
Right.
They might need to think outside the traditional utility box.
Okay. How so?
Maybe they start offering energy management services to businesses,
Okay.
or partner with electric vehicle charging companies to tap into that growing market.
So they need to evolve from just being an energy provider to becoming an energy solutions company.
Right.
That's what will ultimately give them an edge.
Exactly. It's about providing a comprehensive suite of services that meets the needs of a changing world. It's about being proactive, innovative, and always looking for ways to add value.
Well, this has been an eye-opening look at DTE Energy.
It has.
We've covered their financials, their regulatory hurdles, their ESG efforts, and the competitive landscape they face. It's a lot to take in, and honestly, it's left me with more questions than answers.
Well, that's the nature of investing.
True.
There's always more to learn, more to analyze, and more to consider.
Right.
The key is to stay informed. Do your research and make decisions that align with your investment goals and risk tolerance.
Well said. So listeners, what are your thoughts on DTE Energy? Do you think they're well positioned to navigate these challenges and thrive in this evolving energy market? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
And before we sign off, don't forget to subscribe to Investing Talk Podcast. Share this episode with your fellow investors and leave us a comment with your thoughts. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, happy investing.